This episode, it's I think it's 17 episode of second season of Star Wars, and it is about Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan crash landing on the planet, and they are trying to help the villagers from this planet to defend themselves against the pirates, against our character, which we should know by now, Hondo Onaka, and these villagers also recruited bounty hunters to help them. So we have four bounty hunters and three of our heroes, Ahsoka, Anakin, and Obi-Wan, and it is of course the tribute to the Seven Samurais movie by Akira Kurosawa. Um, the episode is interesting that we see, for example, of the faction of different races of bounty hunters. This is interesting that we see someone who is between the conflict of the Republic with the separatist forces, but it is not choosing either side. And we see that, for example, that the faction of pirates is completely different than the faction of bounty hunters. So the bounty hunters are loose mercenaries fighting for prizes, and pirates, in this case Hondo Naka pirates, are a threat to these villagers because of their crops, who are very sought to and very expensive on the galactic market. And the interesting part is that we see this camaraderie between Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Hondo. Still, Hondo wants to profit and he wants to fight with the Jedi, but it is interesting that for the third time, I think, we see the cooperation between and the witty dialogue between Obi-Wan and Hondo. This was really interesting to see this second tier characters like Hondo, which I think should even have their own TV series in Star Wars universe. And we also have this issue of villagers who are aggravated that they hired bounty hunters, but Anakin and Obi-Wan think that they should be also recruited and trained to help for themselves because of the situation when another group of pirates will attack them in the future. So they are not very pleased with this idea, but they participate in the training and later in the defending of the village. And of course, for example, interesting part was that these bounty hunters, there were four of them, and one of them died, and it was a woman. So it was interesting that we see some good characters dying, and even they were in this case a young woman. It was interesting and it was brave that the decision that even though women are as can be as badass as dangerous as men, as in the Star Wars universe, they also can die as well as men. And an interesting part was that the bounty hunters were from different races, because in the Star Wars universe we see that humans, and for example in the Empire or even in this galactic conflict, the clones are human clones, yes, and I wouldn't say most of the Jedi, but many Jedi's are human. So we almost like see that humans are maybe not the biggest race in the galaxy, but the most important part. For example, Emperor Palpatine as Darth Sidious, or his apprentice Count Dooku, they are both humans. And the empire will be, I think the future empire will be mostly consisting human characters. So this was a short one part series about defending this village. Hondo, Naka, will retreat because the business is not profitable again. Uh, so this was the whole situation, and that yeah, and this is I think there was of course issue that should the Jedi's help the villagers? Are they real peacekeepers of this situation? Because this is not the situation against the Sith, but they decided that that this situation is not just neutrality, but something good which should be done, and it is pointed by the bounty hunters that they are really weak at peacekeeping if they are wondering should they intervene in this situation. So let me know in the comments what do you think about this specific episode.